With some impressive moments with the AWP and a playoff run at his first major, w0nderful looks like he could be the next CIS sniper to watch out for. But first, hate getting team flashed? Like this window behind me? Well, make sure you never get team flashed by your browser again thanks to today's sponsor, Opera GX. Opera GX is a special version of the Opera browser built specifically for gamers. That's right, Opera GX has a built-in feature where you can force dark mode on every page you browse. Take this web page where I open it up and you can call me the weekend because I'm blinded by the lights. Well, you simply go into the browser settings, find the force dark pages toggle, and boom, straight away, we've got ourselves a dark mode web page. Then there's GX Control, which is so useful for having your browser open while also being able to game at the same time. Here you can limit the CPU and RAM usage of the browser, as well as the network bandwidth to make sure your game is the main focus. And you can see the difference in CPU usage while I was listening to the Talking Counter podcast here, and trust me, it makes a big difference when you're DMing and warming up. There's also seamlessly integrated Twitch and Discord access, so you can look at what streams are live, or you can just check out whatever weird memes your friends are sending you today. Someone please explain to me what the hell is going on with this one. And there's the GX Corner, where you can stay up to date with free games, the best deals, the newest releases, and general breaking gaming news. And finally, Opera GX is also available on mobile as GX Mobile. Opera GX is genuinely a great browser for gamers, so thanks to them for supporting, and make sure to check it out by clicking my link below. The first thing I actually noticed about w0nderful was that his utility usage is exceptional, especially for a player of his age. These nades are fairly standard, a flash to help slow the push to the site, as well as an incendiary to Tetris, but that incendiary to Tetris makes such a difference because it forces Liquid forwards into the site where there's basically no cover for them, and that's why Spirit can just swarm all these frags on this B-bomb site. Here down in a 2v4, this utility is even better. The flashes initially set up Chopper for this first fight to be favorable, but the molly also means that Chopper gets a chance to catch this player trying to transition back into that position, and if he wins this fight, there's a real chance Spirit could have turned this round based solely on this utility. And then there was this one against Heroic in a similar position, where the first flash is basically the same, but this second flash is a straight up banger. Look at how easy these kills are for Chopper, and with such little time left in the round, this flash clearly wins Spirit the round here. Oh, and he also gets the trade kill with the AWP as a little cherry on top, which transitions us nicely into his AWPing. Definitely had a couple of AWP rounds that were real standouts in terms of skill. I mean, in this one, he's able to trade onto ramp initially, which is fine, but really, it's all about the save as he just turns between these angles and lands a couple of really crazy shots, especially that last one with the no-scope. I like this one because with the hero AWP in this round, Spirit are setting him up for this trade kill by run boosting a player around the corner, so it is imperative he lands this first shot onto the sandbags player, which he does. And then again, when he's saving, he is pretty quick with all of these shots to make sure he holds onto that AWP. And then in this one, he almost gets caught out of position as he was rotating away, and TSS sneaks up on him, but he's able to react nicely. And then this second and third shot are both incredibly fast, especially that first one against the AWP of Cadium, which he had to get the kill off. And as soon as he does that, there's not much utility, and it's some really quick shots to lock it down. I'm going to play a few of the more standard AWP rounds now while talking about what I thought about w0nderful's game overall. Just talking about this round quickly though, I love how he's pre-aiming for the run boost. I feel like a lot of AWPers might just forget to do that, but that's the only way you're going to get challenged here, so that was cool. And also, I love how quick he is to respond with this smoke as utility. He has a lot of riflers around him, and by smoking this molly, he opens up this tight little angle, which he really uses effectively in this specific round. Firstly, he seemed like he was very good at always being with his teammates, and I actually think that's why Spirit is a really good fit for him. It seems like they always seem to be able to get pretty solid reads based on what I'm seeing. I think they're a pretty underrated team, and he was fairly good at landing those standard solid shots you would expect your AWPer to land. But at the same time, there definitely were quite a few misses in there. And I am really interested to see how that plays out once that AWP nerf comes in. Once we're down to 5 bullets, you're not going to be able to afford to miss too many AWP shots, and even in some of the highlight plays w0nderful was having, he definitely had the occasional missed shot in there. I do definitely think a big strength of his was switching up his positions and spots often. You've even seen throughout these highlights, he's played B, he's played mid, he's played A, and done well in all of those positions. And again, I think it's a good example of why he is in a good spot right now to develop on this Team Spirit roster. I kind of see him playing somewhat similarly to how Dexter used to play on Team Spirit, and it's interesting seeing Dexter now maybe take a bit more freedom on his new team, whereas here w0nderful seems to be slotting in nicely and doing what he needs to do, while not often being asked to really step outside of a certain box. And that is something that's going to have to change if he wants to develop to be a real standout AWPer in the future. But he's still young, he's still got time to grow into that. Also, a small side note is I feel like he does something very similar to the simple shake after his shots, which is just kind of an interesting little thing to note. This round brings us nicely onto his clutches and his rifling. We already saw that AWP clutch I played earlier, but I'm going to play it again because it was a banger.
Looking the wrong way, one flash row, out of ammo. This has gotten a little closer than maybe it ever needed to be. Oh, man. 1 versus 3 down to the 1v1 and w0nderful. Oh, he doesn't know. Hang on a moment, now he knows, and that's a quick turn.
But this rifle clutch is also great. He's forced to go for it. It's the last round of the half. And what I love about this is after getting that first kill, he doesn't just go straight in. He waits to see if a further mistake will be made. He knows he's only really exposed from this generator's angle. So that's what he holds. He lets Liquid swing into him. And then in this 1v1, it is just going to come down to a mind game. But clearly his rifling is pretty damn good as he's able to pull off this 1v3 despite being low on health against OC. Beautifully done. On the whole, I definitely wouldn't say his rifling was great or standout, but it was competent, it was fine, which is something you need from your AWPers nowadays, but there weren't too many outstanding moments like that previous round, just a couple of decent kills. And then finally, he had a couple of tricks up his sleeve or things that were just well thought through in general. This round, for example, we get the initial attempt at a one-way smoke on ramp, and trust me, if anyone walks into this, they are a dead man. And then he even gets a teammate to also line up another one-way smoke for him, which just makes it really difficult for Heroic to gain any ground here. There's also this round where after playing sandbags initially and having to smoke the molly, it's really nice that he is playing with his teammates, which is one of the strengths I pointed out earlier, as they can just bail him out with some incendiaries of their own and make sure he can get back to safety, no questions asked. And yeah, overall, w0nderful definitely has a lot of promise. I think the system on Spirit is a really good place for him to start to develop. But at some point, if he has got that ability to really step up, which I think he does based on a couple of those clips, he may need to get given the chance to break out of that system. And we'll see if he can get to that point, because he's still very early in his career. But the raw skill looks like it's there. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this one over here.